The waiting is over. The bags are packed. The plane has landed. And Leylah Fernandez is about to kick off the season here at the 2022 Adelaide International Open. Let's take a look at the top half of the draw. Leylah Fernandez plays Ekaterina Alexandrova in her first round. Alexandrova is a very tricky opponent. She can beat really anyone in the world when she's on top of her game. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. She's got a big booming serve, so Leylah's return game is going to have to be on fire for her to have a chance in this opening matchup. Really, just kind of looking at the top half of this draw, it's really murderous. She's got a potential second round matchup with Iga Swiatek, a major champion winner there at the French Open in 2020. Also Petra Kvitova lingering in the top half of this draw, not to mention Victoria Azarenka and Paula Badosa, both finalists at the Indian Wells BNP Paribas Open just a couple of months ago. That was the last tournament Leylah played in. And then not to mention Coco Gauff and Ashley Barty. So there's no easy matches in this top half of the draw. All right, let's move on and look at the head-to-head. Surprise, surprise, big shocker here. They have not faced one another before. Leylah being so young, but just take a look at some of their particulars here. Leylah's 19, Ekaterina, a veteran of the tour at 27. She's also 5'9" and uses that height to her advantage. She's got a big serve. So Leylah's going to have to be on top of her game. And Leylah, of course, is left-handed. Ekaterina is right-handed. We're going to take a look and see how she's fared against some left-handers as we move through this preview. Now taking a look at the hard court surfaces, you can see all-time Leylah is 65%. In the year of 2021, Leylah was nearly 70%. So she may have a slight advantage there. You can see Ekaterina Alexandrova only had a 52% win rate in hard courts in 2021, But over the course of her career, that number does move up to 64%. So a bit of an anomaly there that last year. All right, you guys, let's move on. And we can't really look at the momentum because they've been off and there's been an off season. We know how Leylah finished up the year. She had a strong showing at the BNP Paribas Open. And, previous to that, she had that amazing run at the US Open. But I really want to look back and delve into how she started off after a layoff coming into 2021. So let's back it up and take a look at how she started off her season last year. You can see she started off with a win in her first tournament in Abu Dhabi, but was bounced in the round of 32. There she moved on to Australia, and again, she got one win earlier on, but was bounced against Maria Sakkari. And then finally, Leylah lost in the first round of the Australian Open to Elise Mertens. And prior to that, let's go take a look at how she'd started off the season even prior to that. Just want to get a feel for if Leylah's a quick starter or not. You can see here, we're just backing it up a bit more. She lost to Paula Badosa at the ASB Classic to start off 2020. And then she strung a couple of wins together through the qualifiers, but again bowed out in the early Open, in the round of 128, the Australian Open. And I don't want to, put too much stock into this, even though I did want to take a look at it. Of course, Leylah, these first years were her first years on tour. Not only is it, her first action of the season, it's really getting a feel for her on the professional tour. So don't want to put too much stock into that. But I did want to do the same thing with Ekaterina Alexandrova. Take a look at what she's been up to at the start of her career, at the start of her seasons. But before we do that, I just want to show you what I was talking about earlier. Ekaterina Alexandrova, you can see at the end of the season, she struggled a little bit, wasn't really stringing the wins together. Here at the Kremlin Cup, look at some of the wins that she strung together. She got past Ons Jabeur. Jabeur, in fairness, did retire in that one. Look at this. Win over Sabalenka. We all know Sabalenka can play. And again, she got a retirement from Sakkari. She went on to make the final here against Kontaveit. We all know Kontaveit was the hottest player on tour at the end of last season. And I actually watched this match. You can see it was a 3-setter. And I want to say that Ekaterina Alexandrova had this match virtually won. I gave up and went to bed. I was shocked to see the scoreline in the morning. She won that first set. She was up big in the second set when her serve deserted her. So I'm not sure if it's a case of nerves or if it was just a thing of momentum where she lost her serve. When her serve is on, she has a devastating game. So that's something Leylah's going to have to deal with and going to have to be wary of. Just back up and see how she started off her previous seasons here. Just taking a look back at the Australian Open and prior to that, her start in Abu Dhabi. So she won her first couple of matches, losing to Svitolina last year. And then she actually made it to the semifinals in another warm-up tournament in Melbourne. And then lost to Ashley Barty at the Australian Open there, getting past a major champion, Barbara Krejcikova. She went on to win the French there. So she's a quick starter. Let's just delve back a little further and take a look at how she did the prior season, 2020. And this is where it kind of gets a little bit ugly for Leylah. That is, Ekaterina Alexandrova had a great start. She won the Shenzhen Open to start off the 2020 season. And then she actually had a really good showing to start off 2020 in the Australian Open, losing to Kvitova in the round of 32, which, there's absolutely no shame in that. You're a top 10 player. But look she got past Barbara Krejcikova and Jill Teichmann. Ekaterina Alexandrova looks to be a bit of a quick starter. We're going to see if that's something Leylah can handle. Alrighty, it is prediction time. Before we do that, just want to take a quick look at Alexandrova's record versus some lefties. We can see she's 1-2 versus Vondrousova, 0-1 versus Kvitova, and 2-2 versus Teichmann over the course of her career. So not a ton of experience facing lefties. And what else I take away from this is she has a losing record versus Vondrousova, and she's even with Teichmann. Women that she's generally been ranked higher than over the course of their careers. So it may be a bit of an Achilles heel for her. And even if it's not, it's going to be a novelty. She's not nearly as experienced facing lefties as Leylah is as experienced playing righties. So just for that fact alone, I think Leylah is going to be a little more comfortable with the situation. Another reason why I like Fernandez coming into this matchup is her confidence. I think it carries over from the US Open and a decent showing at Indian Wells. I see that confidence translating into consistency this year. Leylah's not going to always beat the top women in the sport, but I do see her beating women ranked lower than her. She's just 19. She's breaking out. She's only getting better. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. One last caveat here is if Ekaterina's serve is on, she's going to be really tough to beat. That being said, I like Leylah in 2. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I can't wait to see Ega Fernandez in the next round if we're so lucky to see it. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one.